to be treated, should be used for innocent civilians to seek medical care. I would not conflate or draw any type of comparison to the attack that I've only heard the reports. I don't even know where it is located. I'm getting information from you as I'm standing up here. So I really wouldn't draw the comparison. I was trying to show you that Hamas is willing to use innocent civilians as essentially human shields. That's exactly what we saw with ISIS. And so I would be really mindful of not trying to draw any connection there, as I don't have any details on the report that you're referencing.
And my question is, even before this hospital attack happened, more than 3,000 Palestinians have been killed, UN facilities have been targeted, 14 UN workers, staff members have been killed, 11 journalists, 15, thanks for correcting me. You say this, the Pentagon doesn't put conditions on how Israel use U.S. security assistance. Is this a matter of principle or should be tested against the realities on the ground? Is this like an open-ended commitment, or what Israel does matter here?
I would say that, of course, what Israel does matters. Absolutely. We are absolutely this is a war, and absolutely the actions that are taken, of course, matters. But that's why in our conversations, the secretary, this administration has been very clear about the law of war and what that means. And that's what does set us aside from other nations around the world who do not follow that. So again, I think that we have been very clear from all across our agencies about the incredible loss of life that we are seeing in Israel and in Gaza, but we feel confident in our conversations with the Israelis that, and we will continue to reiterate, that the law of war must be upheld. Yeah.
Hi, thanks, Sabrina. Just a clarifying question. Given that there's no preconditions or tracking of US materiel once it's gone to Israel, you can't rule out how it's being used. So it's entirely possible that US bombs have already been used to kill civilians in Gaza, whether or not that was intentional, but you can't rule that out, right?
Well, that's a hypothetical, and I wouldn't get into that.
Is it hypothetical, though? Well, okay, setting aside whether or not it's a hypothetical, because we don't know where those bombs are going, okay. Does it not make your position untenable to keep saying again and again that there's no preconditions and that Israel respects the rule of law and so on? If that position is becoming harder and harder to sustain in the face of the mounting casualty rate that we're seeing every day from Gaza.
I know I've said this many times, but the secretary is having near daily conversations with his Israeli counterpart. He is speaking to allies in the region. The Secretary of State was there, had an hours-long conversation with the Israelis and his counterpart. Again, we feel that the Israeli military is a very capable, very professional military. And I know I've said this, but what sets us apart from the world, democracies like ours, is not targeting innocent civilians. And that is important, and that is what you've heard the Secretary continue to say in his conversations, and that's what we will continue to say.
I respectfully get that, but if it turns out that US weapons specifically have been used to target civilians, then will you change your position about no conditionality or tracking of US bombs?
Well, again, as I said, that is a hypothetical, and I'm just not going to get into that right now. Laura, did you have a question?